Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Bowder speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. I'm in a new location again, or well, not a new location. I've been here before a couple of times to film, and I've been here many more times to not film. At one point to be filmed, but not the same thing. So, where exactly is this? Well, this is because I'm more or less around the site of the Panto. Because yes, it is Panto season once again. Oh yes it is. Well, not really. Oh no, it isn't actually. What it is time to do the auditions again. So, which is actually kind of interesting because like just before that happened was last year I was talking about Tales of Censored featuring Trash Cat, and now I actually talked about it again this week as one of the things that came out when I returned to streaming, and I'm doing this again. So yeah, and I never thought I would see the day where it turns out that Tales of Censored featuring Trash Cat was actually one of the highlights of the streaming week, which well, I guess there's not really too much to compare it to, and it does not, of course, reach the level of Freak Show, which is, you know, a whole different level to itself. From the gacha side, it was a highlight for me specifically. For you lot, seems like it's once again a little bit 50-50, because there were some of the ones which I still need to check through, which are the recovery streams, the ones where I was there the whole time, you know, one of those situations. So yeah, I guess I don't have as much that has happened this week specifically that is very interesting to talk about. I mean, if you want to hear about my back and forth with various lawyers, then go ahead, but I don't imagine that interests a lot of people watching this, and those that it does interest already know everything about it. So that's kind of that's kind of where I am right now. I might talk about it a bit more depending on where I am. I think more or less next week. It's almost a week time, and I'll be somewhere different. But hey, patience. All in due time. All in due time. So yeah, for now, I guess I'll focus on the audition side of things. So I knew that this was going to happen sometime this week. I just forgot precisely when. Because yeah, it's because I mean, I'm still, you know, trying to get things sorted, and also, you know, trying to prepare something for, you know, the 13-year anniversary of the channel, which, you know, was sort of what took precedent over most other things as soon as I actually got back. I knew that by pushing back from the caravan trip, it was going to be a lot. Speaking of the caravan trip, did I even like explain the ending? Oh wait, no, I did, because I talked about the Spain victory last time and everything, and that being the conclusion point, and people not realizing how many different Spain victories I've actually been physically present for. Which is to say, most of them for the last nearly 20 years. So there you go. Well, the one time I actually, you know, care about sports occurrences. I saw a video I recommended actually where someone said I wasn't a football fan, and then I went to the World Cup that I keep forgetting to watch. I'm trying to, of course, clear out all of my tabs and everything, because I want to move back over to the other computer, you know, the one that I said I was going to move on to after finishing Fallen Angels. And then I realized that actually while I was on the caravan, it was more convenient to have the lighter computer around with me, and then use that one instead and everything. So yeah, once again, I'm having to do a bit of a data transfer. And in fact, Aiden and I, right after talking about Fallen Angels and 2, another highlight by the way, the proper highlight of the week, after talking about that on Gacha Review, we actually got to saying, ah yes, okay, so what now? And it was definitely agreed that, you know, part of like Wyden's going to focus on like the spin-offs and such as make sure that, you know, I regain, you know, the season head start that I have maintained up until this point between the two of us, because I started a year earlier. So yeah, expect me to, particularly for all the editors actually, to talk a bit more about Mutant Girl Season 3 Episode 4 coming up, because as it turns out, most of the audio was synced up some time ago. I think right before I got asked to do the Fallen Angels reviews, I was sort of preparing for that. There are still a couple of things that I think I'm missing. Still, I'm trying to remember if I actually, managed to get all of the Bianca files that I needed. And also there is the small matter of Miss Warren. I do mean small matter because that's just, 3 lines worth of text for the entire series, apparently. So, once again, if anyone wants a 3-line cameo in The Mutant Girl, let me know. Or if you happen to have another voice that's suitable, which is somewhat what I'm thinking about right now in terms of the Panto, because I only got, as I said, I was away, and I didn't realize you had to actually contact the director for the script to express your interest, and so I did that, and I got the script literally yesterday. Now there are 2 audition dates. I could have gone for the one on Sunday, and I even said as much, where it's like, oh yes, maybe I'll do the Sunday one, so I've got more time to practice. As it turns out, the director herself said to me, it's better to come on the one tomorrow, or today rather, because apparently the dance instructor is around, and the one on Sunday is more low key. So, I suppose that was the alternate arrangement date, although there is the option to contact her to arrange for alternate auditions if one could not make either one of them. But seeing as I was around for both, I thought, you know what, sure. She said lack of practice shouldn't be too much of an issue, so I'm hoping that's true. Once I finish vlogging here, I'm gonna give all the characters I'm going for one other pass through, and hopefully knuckle down what voice I'll be using immediately afterwards. So yeah, no peace for the wicked, as so they say. And speaking of that, guess what we're doing? No, I'm kidding. We're not doing Wicked. I guess I can say what we're doing. We're doing Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. And apparently, from what I saw from printing out the scripts, because I had a whole issue with the printer today, it's actually because what I thought of when I saw like the overview when it was posted on the WhatsApp group chat was that it seemed very familiar. It seemed similar to one that I had already seen last year, during the actual Panto season. I forget which group were responsible for it. I think it might have been Charterhouse, I'm not sure. But either way, the story of Goldilocks and the 3 Bears does not intrinsically involve 2 rival circuses trying to, one-up each other and potentially request the hand of Goldilocks, who I presume is aged up in this version. So yeah, I'm wondering about that one. So when I saw that overview, I thought, this definitely seems familiar, but not quite the same. For one, it does not say anywhere that one specific character has a thick German accent, and the main villain is named Greta rather than, I don't remember what the other one was, but it was a male character, so it wasn't Greta. So, although now I think about it, yeah, Greta Grimm is a German name, so it might have been that they licensed the script from the same place, but there's no mention of any sort of tumbling act, which was also a part of the original, not the original, but the possibly Charterhouse version. So I guess it turns out that there are places as where you can license various different scripts from and present them. And the timing of which makes me wonder because obviously last year's Panto was written and directed by the same person, and it was very much a passion project. It was intrinsically tied to like his love of Queen and everything, and was quite masterfully tied together in the way it all came to. And if I'd ever received the digital download from them, I would have shown this to the majority of you by this point. But anyway, what we actually ended up with, this time if it's not, by all means, this isn't the gacha community, so, the writer does not have to be the director and vice versa. So, but I guess that once I actually look at it and inquire into it a bit further, I might either find more similarities or more possible deviations. Depends on, because there was some like licensing disclaimer thing that I didn't read because I was in a rush. I didn't apply to me, it applied to whoever was licensing the script. So there was some bit there that maybe, talks about it or anything. Because the thing with Pantos is that you have to put your own spin on them, right? Even if it's a licensed script, I have to imagine. Because most of the time they are all based on the same very well-known fairy tales, and they are but even with that, you still have, even if it's the same like named characters or everything, you still have either the regional references that you can apply, the song inclusions, which are listed as recommended songs in the script lineup. I did see that, although it does seem like the director has taken one of the songs that's recommended for us to sing as a group number in the audition, so potentially that's going to be stuck to as well. So it's going to feel a little bit different to last year, but in a way I'm sort of looking forward to that. Not to say at all that I was dissatisfied with the previous year's Panto, far from it. It's just that for the Panto experience that I've always, that was wanted, it was different in a good way. But I'm more curious to see what something a bit more in line, or where a character I could play a bit more in line with what's there normally, rather than, one character who sings all of his lines is a celebrity parody specifically, and doesn't fulfill one of the like big archetypes. Which I guess saying that is somewhat paradoxical to what I just said about, pantomimes and varieties. I love varieties within Panto because obviously by this point, I've been going to Pantos, for longer than I've had a YouTube channel, so you can imagine. I think the first one I ever saw was when I was like, it was when I was 10. It was the one where the King of Spain was there, one I keep mentioning sometimes. So yeah, that's right, Santorio. That was 16 years ago. So there you go. I've been attending Pantos for 16 years, and especially the ones around here, because we see most of the same like companies, the same ones. It needs fresh blood to a certain degree. That's sort of like the bit of like the balancing act, like a circus. It's more of a balancing act between like different between pantomimes in general that I think doesn't get pushed very often, which is why I'm really happy about last year, and I'm curious about this year. And in fact, also I was planning to pitch a pantomime of my own, actually, before it was revealed they'd already picked something and were about to do the auditions for it earlier than last year, because last year, they say to in order to get like more like group unity, they're going to start auditioning and rehearsing earlier, which makes it strange that the read-through is next month. But Or I guess that's more equivalent to 2 weeks by this point or something, so not super bad, but yeah, it seems much more spread out, but with the same, I guess, effect, which is strange. I don't know. But yeah, so but the one that I proposed actually was actually, you know, a story that a folktale that I know has not been adapted into a panto yet, or has not been done so very frequently. So good, because I thought that'd be like a great way to introduce people to something new within something old, both the panto institution and the tale itself. But yeah, I mean, my dad did say that, you know, the reason why these folktales are also, you know, are also comfortable by comparison is because they've had hundreds of years of time to develop. Evening, and he's right in that aspect. You know, it's these things do take time. It's just that, you know, I don't really have centuries to wait for something to become institutionalized. So, you know, if you want something to be introduced and, you know, get you know, make us rounds, then you gotta give it a try, basically. So I might still pitch that for next year. It depends. We were kind of talking about it as a random idea I spitballed, and then it sort of developed into like a larger conversation about the logistics around it. So it depends. It's kind of like talking with Aiden about an idea, and then the next thing you know, like 5 minutes later, you're writing the script for it. It's kind of like one of those. So yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, we'll see. But for now, we got something a bit more classical, possibly too classical, depending on how much I've changed the script. But again, I reserve judgment for whenever it actually happens, because I know for a fact when I'll get the the tumbling act, I imagine. But so yeah, we'll see. So I guess I better hop to it and start practicing and hopefully refining things and not dying of thirst in the heat, because that's one difference this year, is that I am not doing this audition in the freezing cold. So yeah, and it's worth mentioning, of course, that, you know, the reason I was so happy to also play the giant last year was because I could do some sort of variety within. So again, I want to see if I can, you know, hopefully get a part that has both, you know, acting and singing involved. You know, because instead of the risk I had last year of being trapped in just the singing role, like I said before, that's what I'm really looking forward to, because there's not really a celebrity parody character that I've seen on the audition roster. So that will not happen again this time. I do wonder, actually, if the director from last year is going to be involved in some way, or if he's just, you know, taking a break, because, you know, I can understand that. Or he might be involved in the summer production, which I missed the auditions for in general, because I wasn't on the mailing list. That's another thing. You know, I've effectively, I tried to, I was going to apply for other productions from this theatre company, but either I wasn't around or didn't hear about them until it was too late. So the Panto is once again, you know, a chance to return to the stage. Yet again, it's become what it is. So if I can keep this tradition going, then, you know, for as long as I'm actually, you know, around the country for, then that'll be a-okay with me. So yeah, I was gonna say wish me luck, but by the time you're seeing this, it will already have happened. So I guess we'll see. So for now, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you've done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.